People love to snipe on Caldera, and the big question is what weapon to use as support. I'm here to answer that question with the top 10 sniper supports in Warzone and their best class setups. Welcome back, I'm Austin, and the number 10 option is the Cold War PPSH. Why is this thing so good? Because it has great mobility, a high fire rate which is over 900 rounds per minute, a solid time to kill of 595 milliseconds at close range, and on top of all of that, it has some of the best range on any SMG at 17.5 meters, and it still has a really good time to kill of 660 milliseconds at long range, to be better than a lot of ARs. This thing is nice, and the best class setup is made to extend the range with the GRU suppressor and 15.7 task force, while also having two attachments geared towards accuracy, being the Microflex LED and then the underbarrel being the Spetsnaz grip to help us with vertical and horizontal recoil control, and then this Spetsnaz 71 round drum is going to give us 1,917 damage per mag to make sure that we don't have a problem using this in any size game mode. The 9th best sniper support option is the QBZ. This is one of the most slept on weapons within the game. I will admit, if you want to get the good time to kill of 619 milliseconds, you do have to mainly hit chest shots, but if we're using this at close to mid-range, that isn't hard to accomplish. What does it do well? It's a specialized assault rifle where you get the movement of an SMG along with the range of an assault rifle. So that's a really nasty combination when you're going to use this as a sniper support. So the movement that we were just talking about gets 5 meters per second, where the PPSH we just talked about gets 5.03, and that's one of the fastest moving subs in the entire game of Warzone. Then for the range, an average AR only has 25 meters for its top end time to kill. This one has 31 meters. It's really good because it's accurate, mobile, and has a good but not great time to kill. And the best class set for the QBZ is going to be focused on increasing its strong suit, so the agency suppressor and field agent grip are going to be helping with its accuracy and toning down the recoil. This will also help with the bullet velocity. Then the Microflex LED really helps out because the iron sights are kind of doo-doo. We got the Raider stock to help with strafe speed and sprint to fire time, which is going to be really important in those close quarters fights. And then the 45 round drum is of course just help out our damage per mag, and I didn't go with the 60 round one because I didn't want to hurt the aim down sight speed. The 8th best sniper support is the MP40. We all know this weapon is great. It is the most used gun in all of Warzone. It's super easy to use because it has no recoil and a good time to kill up close, but it does have some major range limitations, which is why this isn't ranked higher on the list. You can hit your shots easily at 30 meters, but it will be shooting the marshmallows. This weapon is great for aggressive snipers. And now for the best class setup, we're going to be starting off with a silencer instead of a recoil booster, because first off, that hurts our accuracy, and we got to use this out to a little farther ranges. And second off, all the sweats look at their minimap and use their ears with their good headsets. We want to surprise all the sweaty players instead of them getting the jump on us. Now everything else is going to be geared towards either movement, because that's how this weapon is going to be better than other sniper supports, is with its agile nature. Now everything else is pretty self-explanatory. We got the 45 round mag because this is how you get the good time to kill MP40, and incendiary because people can't plate up when they're on fire, and that's just a huge advantage. Even though it does knock our damage range a bit and our bullet velocity, we're not going to be using this thing at 60 meters, so it isn't a big deal. Number 7 is going to be the XM4, and this is a good one. It's great because it has good mobility for an assault rifle when it comes to strafe speed and ADS, which are key in close range engagements that you're going to have to be using it in as a sniper support. Then the second huge benefit is its ability to get a sub 600 millisecond time to kill at close range with just one neck shot, making it knock players faster than weapons like the AK-47 and PPSH. And for the class setup, we're going to be trying to make this thing have good range, good recoil, and mobility. So how do we put that all together? The agency suppressor will give it the bullet velocity and recoil control, while the Microflex LED helps us with our accuracy. The Raider pad's going to help our strafe speed and sprint to fire, which are super key up close. Then we rock the 45 round mag instead of the 60 round because we don't want to hurt the ADS, which is such a key stat on this XM4 being so good. Then, of course, the field agent grip to help with horizontal and vertical recoil control. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. The 6th best sniper support is the Volk, and I would say the rest of the name, but I just don't know how to pronounce it. I slept on this thing a bit because it has insane mobility. This weapon feels like you're running around with an SMG, but you have great range and accuracy. It has a good time to kill as well. The only downside for the Volk is it has a super low damage per mag, making it really difficult to use past duos as a sniper support option. That's because you have to use the 40 round mag for a better time to kill and movement. And speaking of the rest of the class setup, let's take a look at it real quick, and I'm going to point to the perk Gung Ho, and that's why this thing is so elite, because you can fire while sprinting, and that means you have no sprint to fire delay if you go directly into a hip fire, meaning any other weapon, you're going to have a huge advantage on. SMGs usually have about 117 millisecond delay before they can fire after sprinting, whereas this one, you're going immediately. So that means even if this thing had a 700 TTK, with that 117 millisecond advantage, you'd be outgunning things like the PPSH, the QBZ, the Cold War AK-47, the MP40, all those weapons just because of this one perk. Now, you do have to hip fire off of sprinting to get that benefit, so that's why we have the fabric grip on here, because we help with hip fire spread as well as ADS. And then we have hip fire spread. That's what all these attachments are geared towards. You'll also see the stock hip fire spread. That way, when you're sprinting around a corner, you can immediately start hitting your shots before you even ADS. That's why this weapon is so good. Just remember, the damage per mag is a little bit low. Number 5 is going to be the Lappa. It is one of the most slept on weapons in Warzone. One of the fastest base movement SMGs in the game while having good range and accuracy. If you use the correct barrel, it has a better time to kill than the MP40 that everyone loves to use so much. So why not use the Lappa? The only reason would be its horrendous iron sights, but that's not an issue because you can just slap on a Microflex LED. And now for the class setup. What barrel is it? It's going to be the 7.9 rifled because it increases damage and fire rate. This is the only barrel in the game that I know does this. It's just a straight up boost to your time to kill, and that's what makes this thing nasty. So obviously, since we're using a sniper support, we're going to try to extend its range with the agency suppressor, as well as make it more accurate with the field agent grip. The 50 round mag, it's just to get the damage per mag to be really nice. And like I said before, we got to slap on this Microflex LED because the iron sights are ugh. The 4th best sniper support is going to be the Cold War AK-47. This thing is just good old reliable. It has a good time to kill up close to 600 milliseconds, long range 700. This thing's going to be competitive across the board. It's fairly accurate, has a little bit of horizontal recoil, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but still can absolutely beam kits up to 50 meters as a sniper support. It's going to be competitive up close, competitive at long range. It's just going to be solid everywhere. And now for the best class setup, we got the Groove Suppressor to extend the range out a bit, get the bullet velocity up. Then we got the Spetsnaz grip to help with that horizontal recoil that I mentioned a little bit before. And then we got the 45 round mag to not mess with the ADS, the skeletal stock to of course help with our strafe speed, and Microflex LED with accuracy. This thing is still amazing. You should still be running it on Caldera. Number 3 is the Own Gun, which has the highest average KD of all weapons in Warzone, but it's only picked at a 2% clip in loadouts. That's kind of weird. And I think it's probably because of its magazine obstructing your vision and the slow fire rate, but we can fix both of those things in the class setup. It has a great time to kill and great accuracy while being mobile. What makes it so good is its versatility to be good up close and at mid-range. Now if we go to the class setup, I want to show a couple things first. To begin with, we're going to be using the Gawan 188 barrel. And what this does is it makes less damage fall off at long range and increases the bullet velocity and limb damage, but you're going to get no headshot damage when you use this barrel. So first things first, do not go for headshots when using this loadout. But the next thing I want to show is we have to use this 72 round clip to get the fire rate up. But now how do we get that magazine out of our face? We use this M38 Slate Reflector 2.5 times custom. I'm going to bring a clip up on screen right now where you're going to be able to see how the weapon will lower when you switch to the slate reflector optic on the top, and it kind of just pushes that magazine and the rest of the weapon out of your line of sight, so your vision is no longer obstructed. Now the rest of these perks are really generated towards accuracy and mobility, so the move stock is of course to get movement speed, ADS, sprint to fire, aim walking movement speed. Then we got acrobatics for movement speed, sprinting move speed, and then quick as well for sprinting speed. This is going to make you move around with this weapon really well, because that's one of the low points of this SMG on the base weapon. But we put all 3 of these perks to get the movement speed up. So now we got a good fire rate, we get the magazine out the face, we have less damage range fall off, and we get incendiary, so when we hit people, they can't plate up for about 1 second after you hit them. So this weapon is fantastic. I cannot recommend this weapon any more than I already have. The second best sniper support is the STG-44, and I can't say enough good things about this weapon. This is by far the most accurate of all the sniper support options on this list. I feel comfortable using this thing out to about 70 meters, and it's not even built to be a long-range weapon. The TTK up close is a little bit slower than most of the weapons here, but it truly shines from 10 to 70 meters. This is the best option for a more passive sniper who likes to camp on top of rooftops or mountains. This weapon serves you well out in the open areas of the map. This weapon is easy mode, and for the class setup, we're of course going to have a silencer on here because if this is a passive sniper, you definitely do not want to be showing up on that radar. Everything else is going to be geared towards movement, which is acrobatic right here. This thing is so vital to use on this weapon because it gives you movement speed and sprinting movement speed. While Vital is nice to increase your damage, it doesn't actually increase your TTK at all, and it would lower your accuracy. So Acrobatic is super important. And then this Tactical stock is fantastic. You get initial firing recoil, while you get aim walking, movement speed, and steadiness, which allows you to strafe more, which is super key in up close fights. And then we of course have to use the 45 round mag because this will help us with our damage, bullet velocity and range, and bullet penetration. The 45 round mag is key along with Incendiary. Just go out and use this weapon, you're going to be having a great time. Before I give the best sniper support, I like to give a couple honorable mentions with the MP7. People have forgotten about it, but it's still great. It has almost the same time to kill as the OTS with 567 milliseconds, but with more range and accuracy. Then the well gun should probably be on this list, but I didn't level it up because I thought they would nerf it quickly, but they just are letting the second most broken gun stay untouched for weeks. And the last honorable mention will be the AS44, which has a great fire rate and can have a good time to kill or recoil control, but not both at the same time. So that's why I left it off the list. The best sniper support in Warzone is going to be the Cooper Carbine. It does a great job of meshing all these other sniper supports into one. Fast fire rate, good time to kill, accurate, and pretty good mobility. There isn't a big downside to using this weapon other than the fact that you don't get the perk Gung Ho, and you might go through your ammo a little bit quickly because of the fast fire rate. You're going to be shredding through lobbies with this thing, and I'm going to give you the setup right now. I can't wait to share it. So first off, the Cooper Custom Barrel is completely busted. It makes the gun more accurate while increasing its fire rate, but it doesn't lower the damage. This is just a straight buff to the TTK while making it easier to use. It makes no sense, but we're going to take advantage of that. Then we're going to go for Remove Stock to increase the movement speed, as well as Fleet to increase movement speed. That way we're getting better mobility. Then from there on, we got Polymer Grip and M3 Ready Grip. These are both going to be helping with your accuracy. Then the 9mm 60 round drum is obviously going to give you a bigger magazine, but it's going to increase your fire rate. This one will lower your damage, but it still does increase the time to kill. Then for the ammunition, you have two choices here. I prefer Incendiary because it allows them not to plate. While it does lower the bullet velocity and damage range, I'm only trying to use this thing out to 50-60 meters, so I don't find that to be a huge negative. Now the compressed rounds are just a straight increase to your time to kill, but it will lower your accuracy, and that's going to make this thing harder to use out to longer ranges, but it's still not a problem to use 30 meters and in. So it's up to you what you find more valuable. I like Incendiary so people can't plate. Comment if you agree or disagree with my list, and if you want to see an in-depth breakdown of the XM4 versus SCG, click on this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.